Let's get started. Start with listening, and then learn new words and practice them in sentences.
Ever wanted to plan a trip but didn't know how to discuss it in English? Well, this is your chance to learn. Today, we're diving into the world of travel planning. We'll explore how to talk about your plans, make reservations, and organize your itinerary. It's not just about booking flights and hotels, but also about confidently navigating conversations related to sightseeing and handling common travel issues. By the end of this video, you'll be able to confidently tackle these tasks in English. Ready to embark on this journey? Imagine you're planning a trip to a new destination. Where do you start? When planning a trip, the first step is often deciding where you want to go. This is your destination. It could be a bustling city, a peaceful countryside, or a tropical beach. Your choice might depend on your interests, whether you love history, nature, cuisine, or adventure. After you have chosen your destination, it's time to decide how long your trip will be. This is the duration of your trip. It might be a short weekend getaway or a long 2-week vacation. You might say, I'm planning a 3-day trip to Paris, or I'll be in Tokyo for 2 weeks. Next, let's talk about travel companions. These are the people who will be joining you on your trip. You might be traveling alone, with a partner, with family, or with a group of friends. You could say, I'm going on a solo trip to New York, or my family and I are visiting Rome. Let's put these together in a conversation. Imagine you're talking to a friend about your upcoming trip. You might say, I'm planning a week-long trip to Sydney with my best friend. We're both huge fans of the beach, so we thought Australia would be the perfect destination. Your friend might respond, that sounds amazing. When are you going? And you could reply, we're leaving at the end of July. We wanted to go during Australia's winter season to avoid the crowds. As you can see, discussing travel plans involves sharing your destination, the duration of your trip, and who you're traveling with. And remember, the most important part of travel is enjoying the journey. Now you're ready to talk about your travel plans. But what about making reservations? Let's move on. After deciding on your travel plans, it's time to make reservations. How do you go about it? Let's start with flights. To book a flight, you might say, I'd like to book a flight from New York to London. You could then follow up with, could you please tell me the available flights on the 25th of July? Once you've chosen your flight, remember to confirm by saying, I'd like to confirm my booking for the 10 a.m. flight on the 25th of July. Next, we move on to hotels. To make a hotel reservation, start by stating your intent. I'd like to make a reservation. Then specify your details. I need a double room for 3 nights, starting from the 27th of July. To ask about availability, you could say, do you have any rooms available for those dates? And of course, to confirm your booking, say, I'd like to confirm my reservation for a double room from the 27th to the 30th of July. Lastly, let's talk about transportation. If you're booking a rental car, for instance, you might say, I'd like to rent a car. Provide necessary details like, I need the car from the 28th of July until the 1st of August. To inquire about options, ask, what types of cars do you have available? Once you've made your choice, confirm by saying, I'd like to confirm the reservation for a compact car from the 28th of July to the 1st of August. Remember, making reservations isn't just about booking. It's also about confirming details to avoid any miscommunication or errors. So always make sure to repeat your dates, times, and other important details. And there you have it. You've now learned how to make reservations in English for flights, hotels, and transportation. Practice these phrases, and soon you'll be making your travel reservations with ease and confidence. Great! Your reservations are all set. Next up, organizing your itinerary. With your reservations in place, it's time to organize your itinerary. But how do you discuss it in English? Well, let's start by diving into some essential vocabulary. An itinerary is a detailed plan for a journey, especially a list of places to visit. In other words, it's your travel blueprint. When you're visiting different places, you might want to say, I would like to go sightseeing. Sightseeing simply means visiting and seeing places of interest. Now let's imagine you've got a full day ahead. You might want to start by saying, first thing in the morning, I plan to visit the museum. As the day progresses, you can say, in the afternoon, I am going to the park. And maybe, in the evening, I have reservations at a local restaurant. Giving and asking for directions is also an integral part of any travel experience. If you're looking for a specific place, you can ask, can you tell me how to get to the museum? Or, could you give me directions to the park? If someone asks you for directions, you can respond using phrases like, go straight ahead, or turn left at the traffic light, or it's on the right, just past the bookstore. Remember, practice makes perfect. Don't hesitate to use these phrases while you're planning your itinerary or exploring new places. What about if you want to explore multiple places in a day? Well, you can say, I plan to start at the museum, then head to the park, and finally end up at the restaurant in the evening. This way, you're giving a clear and concise rundown of your day's plan. Our journey doesn't end here, though. What if you have more than one day to explore? You could say, on my first day, I will, and continue with your plan. For the next day, simply start with, on my second day, I plan to. Remember, organizing your itinerary and discussing it in English allows you to share your exciting plans and also helps you navigate your journey more effectively. Now you're equipped to organize your itinerary in English, but what if you encounter issues during your trip? Travel often comes with unexpected issues. How do you handle them in English? Let's begin with lost luggage, a common issue many travelers face. The key phrase here is, I can't find my luggage. If you need to report this to an authority, you might say, excuse me, I think my luggage is lost. Can you help me? Next, let's say your flight is delayed or canceled. You might need to ask, what's the status of my flight? Or is there a delay? If the flight is indeed canceled, you can say, my flight has been canceled. What are my options? Now imagine you're in a foreign city and you need help. The phrase to remember is, can you help me please? You might need to ask for directions. Say, can you tell me how to get to the city center? Or, can you recommend a good restaurant nearby? Remember, politeness is key. Always use please and thank you to show respect and appreciation. Let's role-play these scenarios now. Picture yourself in an airport at the luggage carousel, but your suitcase is nowhere to be seen. You approach the information desk and say, excuse me, I can't find my luggage. Can you help me please? Now, imagine your flight has been delayed. You approach the airline's desk and ask, what's the status of my flight? Finally, you're in a bustling city, lost and needing help. You approach a local and ask, can you help me please? I'm trying to find the city center. With these tips, you're now ready to handle any travel-related issues in English. Planning a trip involves various steps, each requiring different sets of vocabulary and phrases in English. We kicked off with discussing travel plans, where we learned how to express our interests, preferences, and goals for the journey ahead. Next, we dove into the world of making reservations, picking up essential terms for booking flights, hotels, and transportation. Remember, being clear and precise in your communication can make this process a breeze. Then, we tackled the art of organizing itineraries, absorbing phrases for scheduling tours, sightseeing, and more. Organization is key to a smooth travel experience. Lastly, we explored how to handle common travel-related issues, arming ourselves with the language tools to navigate any bumps on the road. Throughout this journey, we built a robust vocabulary, practiced role-playing scenarios, and honed our conversational skills. Remember, practice makes perfect. Keep practicing these phrases, and you'll be planning your next trip in English in no time.
Let's learn new words and practice English at level B1. Destination. Destination, the place to which someone is going or being sent. Example, we chose Paris as our destination for the summer vacation. Itinerary. Itinerary, a planned route or journey. Example, I created an itinerary that includes all the tourist attractions we want to visit. Accommodation. Accommodation, a place to stay when traveling, such as a hotel, hostel, or campground. Example, we booked our accommodation 2 months in advance to get a good rate. Reservation. Reservation, an arrangement to secure a service, such as a seat on a plane or a room in a hotel, in advance. Example, don't forget to make a reservation for the dinner cruise. Pack. Pack, to fill a suitcase or bag with clothes and other items needed for travel. Example, I need to pack my bag the night before we leave. Tourist. Tourist, a person who is traveling or visiting a place for pleasure. Example, the city center is always crowded with tourists. Guidebook. Guidebook, a book of information about a place, designed for the use of visitors or tourists. Example, I bought a guidebook to learn about the best spots to visit in the city.